You want to be a funded trader, right? You've seen the payout screenshots, you've watched videos of people passing challenges, getting funded, and pulling in thousands of dollars per month from prop firms. Maybe you've already tried once or 3 times, and you keep telling yourself, once I get funded, everything will fall into place. But here's the truth most traders never hear. Getting funded won't change you. It won't fix your discipline. It won't magically erase your fear, greed, hesitation, or overconfidence. You don't become consistent because you're funded. You get funded because you already became consistent. Let me tell you a story. There was a trader named Jay. He didn't have capital. No one was watching him. No pressure. Just him and a demo account. But Jay made one important decision. He said, "From today, I'm going to treat this demo account like it's a $1 million account." He wasn't trying to prove anything to anyone. He was trying to prove something to himself. So he started showing up like a professional. He built a morning routine. He journaled his trades, not just the outcomes, but the reasons behind them. He took only high probability setups. No chasing, no guessing, no revenge trades. And every time he was tempted to gamble, he reminded himself, a funded trader wouldn't do this. Within 6 months, Jay passed his first funding challenge. But here's the key. He didn't pass because the challenge made him serious. He passed because he got serious before the challenge ever came. This is where most traders get it backwards. They think external success will create internal discipline. But trading doesn't work that way. The market doesn't reward potential, it rewards behavior. And funded trading only magnifies what's already inside you. If you're impulsive, funding will accelerate your losses. If you're emotionally unstable, the pressure of someone else's capital will break you. That's why becoming a professional trader starts in the mind, not in the account. So what does the funded trader mindset actually look like? It's not flashy, it's not exciting, it's quiet, patient, intentional. Funded traders don't chase setups, they wait for confirmation. They don't over-leverage when they feel confident or double down after a loss. They respect risk the way a pilot respects gravity, because they know one emotional decision could crash the whole account. And most importantly, funded traders don't trade to feel something. They trade from a place of calm neutrality. They know that real power comes from detachment, from being okay whether a trade wins or loses, because the goal isn't perfection, the goal is consistency. If you want to think like a funded trader before you're funded, you need to flip your priorities. Most traders obsess over strategy and signals, over win rates and indicators. But funded traders focus on one thing above all: execution under control. They care more about how they trade than what they trade. They study their mistakes. They know their emotional triggers. They create rules and they follow them, even when no one is watching. And when things go wrong, as they always do, they don't blame the market. They take responsibility, reset, and get back to the process. You don't need a large account to develop this mindset. You don't even need real money. What you need is a shift in identity. You need to start seeing yourself not as a trader who hopes to get funded, but as a trader who already thinks, behaves, and operates like a professional. When you sit down to trade, ask yourself, would I take this trade if I were trading a $100,000 funded account? If the answer is no, walk away. If the answer is yes, enter it with confidence and let the outcome take care of itself. So let me offer you 3 practical ways to start thinking like a funded trader right now, even if you're still learning. First, review your mental performance more than your profit and loss. After every session, ask, did I follow my rules? Did I stay calm? Did I manage my emotions? These are the metrics that actually lead to funding. Second, stop trading the moment you hit your emotional limit, not just your drawdown limit. The minute you notice revenge thoughts, frustration, or fear sneaking in, step away. Real discipline is stopping before the damage happens. And third, speak to yourself like a CEO. Don't call yourself stupid when you lose. Don't panic when a setup doesn't work. Speak with clarity and direction, because how you treat yourself during drawdowns determines whether you'll survive long enough to get to a payout. Most people think they're building a trading account. But what they're really building or destroying is a trading mind. And that mind either gives you a future in this game, or it burns out account after account, always chasing the next strategy, the next firm, the next shortcut. But not you. You're here because you want more than hype. You want mastery. You want longevity. You want to become the kind of trader who earns funding not because they're lucky, but because they're ready. So stop waiting to become that person. Start acting like it. Start showing up like it. Start protecting your capital, your energy, your mindset, as if the account is already in your hands. Because truthfully, the only thing between you and funding is your ability to stay the same person on a good day and a bad one. That's the mindset that wins. That's the funded trader mindset. And you can start building it today. Everyone wants a funded account. It's become the new goalpost in trading. The dream: pass the challenge, get the capital, start making money. It sounds simple, but here's a perspective you rarely hear. You don't need a funded account to trade like a millionaire. You don't need a six-figure balance to start acting like a professional. You don't need someone else's money to validate your ability. In fact, if you can't trade like a millionaire with $100, then $100,000 will only expose what's broken. Let that sink in. A funded account is not the starting line. It's the test. And most traders fail not because of the strategy, but because their mindset was never ready. You see, trading with discipline, structure, and professionalism isn't something you magically develop after you get capital. It's something you build before the capital ever comes. Otherwise, all that funding will do is magnify your weaknesses. Imagine this. Two traders are given $100,000 each. One has spent months mastering discipline, logging trades, learning emotional control. The other has spent months jumping from strategy to strategy, chasing wins, avoiding accountability. Now they're both funded. Who do you think keeps the account? Exactly. This is why thinking like a millionaire trader is more important than becoming one. Because mindset comes before money. Every dollar you manage is a reflection of your ability to handle pressure, to follow rules, to execute with calm. The money doesn't make you a trader. The process does. Let me tell you something that changed my own perspective. Millionaires don't think in terms of profits. They think in terms of risk. A millionaire trader doesn't ask, how much can I make? They ask, what's the worst case scenario? Listen, how do I control it? They don't over-leverage. They don't emotionally attach to trades. They don't brag about one big win because they're focused on winning for years, not days. You can start training that mindset right now, even with a $50 account, even with demo. Because the market doesn't know how much money you have, but it does expose who you are every time you enter a trade. Let me give you a real example. There was a trader named Marcus who only had $200 to his name. No prop firm, no investor, but he made a decision. I'm going to treat this $200 like it's $2 million. Every setup was documented. He never risked more than 1%. He followed his plan religiously and never let ego into the equation. He wasn't focused on flipping his account overnight. He was focused on developing into the kind of trader who deserved funding. When the opportunity came, passing the challenge was easy because he had already trained his mindset to manage pressure. And that's the key. Success doesn't come when the funding hits your account. It comes when you no longer need it to validate your ability. A lot of traders think they're stuck because they don't have capital. But in truth, they're stuck because they haven't developed the mindset to manage what they're chasing. They want to scale results, but they haven't scaled their discipline. They want growth, but they still approach trading like it's a lottery ticket. That's not how millionaire traders think. That's how desperate traders think. So here's the shift. Stop waiting for capital to force you into professionalism. Start trading like a professional now. How? It starts with habits. Build a pre-market routine. Plan your trades. Journal your performance. Not just the profits, but your decision-making, your emotions, your self-talk. Begin to treat every trading session like it matters, because it does. This is where consistency is born. Not from a new indicator, not from a new firm, but from you showing up with the right mindset day after day. The truth is, most people don't need more money to succeed in trading. They need more focus, more patience, more self-control. The millionaire mindset isn't flashy, it's boring, it's repetitive. It's doing the same thing, the right thing, over and over again, even when it's not exciting. It's passing on trades that don't align with your edge. It's saying no when your emotions scream yes. It's knowing when to walk away. This is what creates long-term results. This is what separates gamblers from professionals. You might not have a big account yet. You might not be funded. But what you do have is today. and the chance to start thinking like a trader who's already managing serious money. That mindset is more valuable than any funding program you could buy into. Because once it's yours, no one can take it from you. You'll trade smarter, you'll lose slower, you'll recover faster, and eventually, inevitably, you'll attract the capital you were meant to handle. So if you're serious about trading, stop chasing money. Start chasing mastery. Because when your mind is aligned with millionaire habits, the money won't just show up, it'll stay. Most struggling traders believe they're just one strategy away from success, one secret setup, one indicator, one new prop firm. But what if I told you that the difference between funded traders and those still struggling isn't in their charts? It's in their mindset? See, funded traders know things that can't be found in any strategy PDF. Things you won't see on social media. Things that sound too boring to go viral, but are powerful enough to build long-term wealth. Because while struggling traders chase results, funded traders follow principles. That's the difference. Let's start with the biggest one. Funded traders understand that consistency beats intensity. They're not trying to hit home runs every day. They're trying to show up, follow their process, and survive long enough for probability to work in their favor. Struggling traders, on the other hand, burn themselves out looking for the perfect trade, the perfect entry, the one moment that will make them rich. Funded traders know better. They play the long game. They don't let one trade define them, win or lose, because they've learned that edge isn't found in a single trade. It's found in the way you manage yourself over hundreds of trades. I once mentored a trader named Brian. For months, he was stuck in the typical cycle: overtrading, revenge trading, quitting, restarting. His strategy wasn't the problem, it was his thinking. One day I asked him, if you already had $200,000 in your trading account, would you still take the trade you're about to enter? He paused, then shook his head. That moment changed everything. Because he realized he was trading to prove something, not to protect capital. That's what funded traders know. It's not about showing the market you're right. It's about protecting your capital like it belongs to someone else. Because one day, it might. Another thing funded traders know is how to handle losses like leaders. Struggling traders take losses personally. They spiral. They double down to make it back. They question their whole approach. But funded traders, they treat losses as data. Emotionless, clean. They don't let one red trade ruin their mindset. Instead, they ask, did I follow my rules? If yes, they move on. If no, they learn and adjust. It's not emotional, it's professional. Because when you're funded, you're expected to operate like a manager, not a gambler. Funded traders also know that discipline is not optional. It's not something you do when you feel like it. It's a non-negotiable part of the job. And it starts with structure. They have routines, pre-market rituals, a clear trading plan. They don't wing it. Struggling traders, on the other hand, often trade based on emotion, gut feeling, or boredom. They react, they guess, they chase. And every time they do, they widen the gap between where they are and where they want to be. But maybe the biggest thing funded traders know is this: you trade who you are, not what you know. Who you are when the market is quiet. Who you are after a loss. Who you are after 3 wins in a row. That identity, that internal operating system, controls everything. If you're anxious, impatient, and undisciplined in life, those traits will show up in your trading. That's why the funded trader is always working on themselves, and not just their charts. They read, they reflect. They keep a journal not just for entries and exits, but for emotions, triggers, and patterns of thought. Struggling traders often believe they're missing some secret, when what they're really missing is accountability. Funded traders take full ownership. No blaming the news, no blaming the broker, no blaming the market, just full brutal honesty. I overtraded. I didn't wait for confirmation. I broke my rules. That level of responsibility is rare, but it's required if you want to play this game at a high level. So what can you learn from this? You don't have to wait until you're funded to act like a funded trader. You can adopt the mindset now. You can start showing up with structure. You can start protecting your emotional capital. You can start treating every trade like it matters, because it does. Every habit you build today is either preparing you for success or preventing it. The market doesn't care how badly you want to be funded. It only responds to discipline, patience, and consistency. So instead of asking, how do I pass the challenge? Start asking, what would a funded trader do today, even if no one is watching? That question alone can change everything. Because in the end, funded traders aren't special. They're not smarter, they're not luckier. They're simply more committed to the process than most people are. They've mastered the boring parts, the hard parts, the parts no one claps for. And that's why they win. So now the choice is yours. Keep chasing setups, or start building the mindset that creates funding, freedom, and long-term results. Because what funded traders know, you now know too. The real edge was never in the market. It's in you.